What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a good old look at some news that's coming around in the One Piece trading card game. There's a few things going on, but I want to start with the thing with which I am most excited, because we've got ourselves a new figure. I love that they do these figures for the One Piece TCG. I think they're absolutely stunning. And now we've got one for Vegapunk. And I think this might be the time when I need to just, sort myself out and actually go and pick one of these up. Now, as with all of these we've seen so far, you do get yourself an alternate art card. So yes, you do get yourself the figure. The figure is obviously amazing. But you also get yourself an alternate art of Vegapunk. Now, these leaders are never new. That's very important. When we get these figures, it's never a new thing. We're getting a new version of an existing leader. Obviously, if they actually tried releasing new leaders in this way, it would be a disaster because trying to get hold of them would be a nightmare. So the good news is you don't need this card. It's an alternate art of the Vegapunk from OP07. And if we put it side by side with the regular and the alternate art Vegapunk from OP07, I mean, look, the alt art is really cool. OP07 is one of the ones, as far as I'm concerned, this is like the best style of alternate art leaders. I've long been saying it. It's the first ones. They first came around in like OP04, and then we've had them a couple of times since. And it's basically like the leader with their crew behind them. I think it's brilliant. I do think the new Vegapunk is actually better than the initial OP07 Vegapunk. I think the alternate art is an argument we can have. And this remains one of the most intriguing, interesting leaders we've ever seen. Because 5,000 power, 2 life, and 2 life is obviously horrendous, and you can't attack. But once per turn, you can pay 1 to play an Egghead card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand, or add it to the top of your life face up. It's a phenomenal skill, a super intriguing leader, and it's not one of these leaders which is running around owning the game or anything silly like that, but it is seeing a bit of play here and there. Every so often I see it popping up in a winning list, and I'm not arguing it's some kind of like amazing super deck. It's not, but it is very intriguing. Well, now we got an alternate art of it, which comes with a little figure, and the figure obviously is mimicking the alternate art, and then the figure is designed in such a way that there is a stand so that you can actually put the Don there. It's just brilliant, and I love it. So how is this actually being distributed? Well, it is being distributed in Shonen Jump. Now, remember I showed you the Marco the other day. We've actually got a really good look here at the Marco figure and alternate art. I don't believe they actually showed us this, like with the Egghead today. We've actually got, here is a nice clear scan of the Egghead leader. I don't believe they ever did that for Marco. And I apologize if they did and I just missed it. But my point is, we got a good look here. These are essentially the next pair coming along. And what you essentially have to do is buy Shonen Jump and use that to order the figure. Simple as that. You get the figure and the alternate art. You have to buy them essentially from the magazine. It's a mail away thing, which is happening over in a Japanese magazine. It is the April Shonen Jump, I believe, which comes out on the 10th of February, and I think this is going to set you back 3,300 yen. And to be fair, 3,300 yen, not too bad. You're talking like just over 20 bucks. I'm personally okay with this. It's worth noting, though, that we have had a few of these at this stage, and they haven't found their way out over to the West. We get pretty much everything Japan gets in terms of the One Piece TCG. However, this does tend to kind of be an exception, I think is probably fair to say. Of course, the last ones we had a little pair. We had Bonnie and Yamato that did not find their way out over here. We never got them. And then obviously a while ago at this stage, we got Luffy and Zoro, which again just did not find their way over here. So I think it's probably fair to assume that it's just not happening. We get pretty much everything, which is awesome. I just think these figures might be the very rare exception where we have to kind of accept the fact they're not coming over. It's nothing to stop you importing them and picking them up that way, but I do think it's fair to assume that the Vegapunk and all aren't coming. But I missed the first few. Vegapunk and Marco? I don't know. I feel maybe it's time for me to actually start picking these up because they are insanely cool and I love them. What else is going on in the world of the One Piece TCG? Well, there's a very small piece of news here, but one that I want to just talk about quickly. There is a tournament going on over in Japan for elementary school students. And there's a whole bunch of sleeves and promos I've shown you before that we just don't need to bother going into. But there's actually exclusive playmats for first, second, and third. Look, the first is on the screen. You can guess what the second and third look like. The first turns into a second, but it's silver now, or a third and it's bronze now. There we go. There's your answer. But I don't think we've seen this anywhere else. And it is actually using specifically the art which Bandai have chosen here to use for these elementary school tournaments. So I think these are actually exclusive. Now, there does come a potential issue here in terms of these being very hard to get hold of. But it's actually, it's limited to 32 people who had to qualify through the elementary school strongest champion tournament area preliminaries. And this is essentially the final 32 of people that qualified. Again, we are talking only elementary school students. This is an invite-only tournament. But I think there are going to be some people out there that are a bit grumpy that we've got this exclusive playmat, which seems like it might be extremely rare, which is essentially only available for tournaments with very limited type of entrant. You know, you got to be an elementary school student or it doesn't work. So I'm sure some people are going to be annoyed about that. I personally am not. I kind of love the idea that we got elementary school students who are having a tournament among themselves with some really cool exclusive prizes, but I know I might not be the only opinion here. I think there might be some people that are less than impressed. I'm honestly cool with it. Something which is a bit closer to home and something which is definitely going to work out for everybody. The Tin Pack Set Volume 1 now. We did look at this previously in terms of the tins and in terms of the Don, but we've now got a really clear scan here showing the Roger Don, showing the Luffy Don, and showing the tins with a confirmed release date of April the 18th. So I figured this was something we'd have a little bit of a chat about. They're $10, and actually $10 for 2 packs, and the packs are confirmed OP 10, by the way. So for 2 packs and the Don and a tin rather than the old cardboard box, this seems like a pretty good deal. And I know this is something we kind of talked about before, and it's not necessarily the newest thing in the world, but I do think this is a very cool product. So yeah, I think this is something that people are going to absolutely love. I really want them to do a thing, and I don't know if this would actually be bad, but I really want it to be the Roger Don in the Roger tin and the Luffy Don in the Luffy tin. Now, that could backfire massively if one of the Don was a lot more popular, such that, you know, one of the tins would sell out instantly and the other one wouldn't. But I really just, when I buy these, I want one of each tin and one of each Don. And if I could just buy one of each tin and guarantee one of each Don, I'm sorry, that would make me happy. That's the kind of thing I would very much like to do. Is that going to be the way it goes? No idea. And I cannot stress this enough. It says one special Don from 2 types is randomly inserted, so I believe it is that they're not matching the Don to the tin. It is just a case of you buy a tin, you get one of the 2 Don. There are going to be people out there that buy like 2 of each and get the 2 Roger tins with Roger Don and the 2 Luffy tins with Luffy Don, and they go, it's guaranteed. No. But there are going to be people that take a sample size of like 4 tins and think that is certain. Sorry about that, but you know it is going to happen. And the last thing I want to talk about very briefly today, it's not actually TCG, but I gotta show you this. Look how cool this gacha is. It's basically the 4 emperors with official Taiko no Tatsujin, your drum game, just as gacha prizes. It's so bizarre to me. It's gashapon, and you get one of these 4, and you just get one of the 4 emperors, but like with official, hey, they've got the drum and they've got the sticks, and actually look at the drums. The drums have even been changed to look like the characters. This is one of the weirdest gashapon crossovers I've ever seen, and I know it's not TCG related, so we're popping it at the end of this video. But if any of you are into One Piece generally and not just a TCG, I think you'll find this cool, and I wanted to mention it just briefly. We talked 3 TCG stories. I just wanted to show you this at the end because I think it's awesome, and now I have. So now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this in the comment section. Get us! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.